This one habit makes you sound less confident. Fix it now. Welcome back to the channel. Here, we focus on small changes that create powerful results in real conversations. So let's get started with something that can instantly upgrade the way you speak. You might be speaking English every day, but one small habit is quietly making you sound unsure. It is something most people use without thinking, and it weakens even strong ideas. The surprising part is that removing it can immediately make you sound more confident and clearer. Today, you are going to identify that habit and replace it with something better. Many English learners believe they need more vocabulary to sound confident, but that is not always true. Sometimes, the issue is not what you say, but how you say it. A very common habit is using "I think" in almost every sentence. It feels natural, but it reduces the strength of your message. In this video, you will learn how to replace it with stronger and more direct expressions so you can speak with confidence in any situation. Why your words sound weaker than your ideas. The real issue is not your English level, your grammar, or your vocabulary. The problem lies in how you present your thoughts. Many people unknowingly reduce the strength of their own ideas by adding hesitation at the beginning of their sentences. When you say, "I think," you are not just speaking, you are subtly telling the listener that your idea may not be strong enough. Even when your point is clear and correct, it starts to sound less confident. This habit usually comes from a deeper place. It often develops from the fear of being judged, corrected, or misunderstood. So instead of expressing your idea directly, you soften it to feel safe. At first, it seems harmless, but over time it becomes automatic. You begin to add hesitation to almost every sentence without realizing it, and this slowly becomes your communication style. There is also a psychological effect behind this. The more you use uncertain language, the more your brain starts believing that your ideas are not strong enough. This affects not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. Your confidence starts decreasing, and you begin to hold back even when you have something valuable to say. In real conversations, this creates a clear difference. Someone with average ideas but strong delivery often sounds more convincing than someone with great ideas but weak delivery. People tend to respond to confidence and clarity more than perfect wording. That is why delivery matters just as much as content. Another important point is that listeners are always picking up signals from your language. Words like "I think," "maybe," or "probably" create a sense of doubt. On the other hand, clear and direct statements create trust. When your sentences are strong, people are more likely to listen, respond, and respect your opinion. Confident speakers are not perfect speakers. They do not always have better vocabulary or flawless grammar. What they do differently is simple. They remove unnecessary hesitation and focus on expressing their ideas clearly. They trust their thoughts enough to present them directly, and that changes how their message is received. When you start becoming aware of this habit, you gain control over your communication. You begin to notice when you are weakening your own sentences, and you can correct it in real time. This awareness is the first step toward improvement. Once you start making small changes, you will see a noticeable difference in how you sound and how people respond to you. This is not about becoming aggressive or overconfident. It is about being clear, intentional, and respectful while still sounding sure of what you are saying. When you remove unnecessary doubt from your language, your ideas finally get the strength they deserve. And that is what makes your communication powerful. Where this shows up in real life. Let's look at how this habit appears in everyday situations. Imagine you are in a meeting, a classroom, or even a group discussion with friends. You have a good idea, and you say, "I think this plan might work." Now, another person shares a similar idea but says, "This plan will work because it solves the main problem." The difference is clear. Both ideas may be equally good, but the second one sounds more confident and convincing. In professional environments, this becomes even more important. During interviews, presentations, or team discussions, the way you express your thoughts directly affects how people judge your competence. If you constantly soften your statements, it may give the impression that you are unsure, even when you actually understand the topic well. As a result, people may trust others more, simply because they sound more certain. This also happens in daily conversations. For example, when someone asks for your opinion, and you respond with hesitation, it reduces the impact of what you say. Instead of sounding clear and helpful, your response may feel uncertain. Over time, people may stop asking for your input, not because your ideas are weak, but because your delivery does not reflect confidence. There is also a subtle shift in how conversations flow. Confident speakers often guide discussions because their statements sound clear and decisive. On the other hand, hesitant speakers are more likely to be interrupted or overlooked. This is not intentional, but it happens naturally because people respond more strongly to clarity than hesitation. Think about moments when you truly knew something but still added, "I think," out of habit. That small addition changed the energy of your sentence. It made a strong idea sound like a possibility instead of a clear statement. This is exactly where most people lose impact without realizing it. Once you start noticing these situations, you will see how often this habit appears. It is present in meetings, conversations, interviews, and even casual discussions. And the good news is, once you become aware of it, you can begin to change it. Awareness is the first step, and from here, improvement becomes much easier. Simple upgrades that instantly improve your speaking. Now let's focus on what you can do to fix this habit. The goal is not to sound aggressive, but to sound clear and confident. The first simple upgrade is to replace "I think" with stronger alternatives. For example, you can say, "I believe this will work," when you are confident, or, "in my opinion," when you are sharing a viewpoint in a discussion. These small changes immediately make your sentence sound more intentional. Another powerful technique is to support your statement with a reason. Instead of saying, "I think this is a good idea," say, "This is a good idea because it solves the main issue." When you add a reason, your sentence automatically becomes stronger and more convincing. It shows clarity in your thinking and makes it easier for others to trust your point. You can also practice removing unnecessary fillers completely. Many times, you do not need to replace "I think" at all. You can simply say the sentence directly. For example, instead of "I think we should try this," say, "We should try this approach." This makes your communication more direct and impactful without adding extra words. One more important habit is to pause before speaking. This gives you a moment to organize your thoughts and choose stronger words. When you speak without rushing, your sentences naturally sound more confident. Clarity comes from thinking before speaking, not from speaking more. These upgrades may seem small, but they create a big shift in how you sound. With regular practice, they become natural, and your communication starts to feel more clear, confident, and effective in every situation. How confident speakers actually sound. Now let's look deeper at how confident speakers actually communicate. When someone says, "I think this idea is good," the sentence sounds acceptable, but it lacks authority. It creates a small gap between the speaker and their own idea. Even if the idea is valuable, the delivery makes it feel less certain, and the listener may not fully engage with it. Now compare that with a stronger version. "This idea is effective because it solves the problem." Here, the speaker removes hesitation and adds clarity. The sentence feels complete, purposeful, and confident. The listener does not have to guess what the speaker means. Everything is clear, and that clarity builds trust instantly. Let's take another common situation. Someone says, "I think we should try this." It sounds polite, but it does not guide the conversation. Now listen to this. "We should try this approach because it will give better results." This version not only sounds confident but also gives direction. It shows that the speaker has thought about the idea and believes in it. Confident speakers are not trying to sound perfect. They are trying to sound clear. They understand that communication is not about adding more words, but about choosing the right words. They avoid unnecessary fillers and focus on delivering their message in a direct and structured way. This makes their communication easier to follow and more impactful. When you begin applying this in your own speaking, you will notice a real shift. People will listen more carefully, respond more seriously, and engage more with your ideas. Your words will carry more weight, and your presence in conversations will naturally grow. This is how strong communication is built, not by changing your personality, but by changing how you express your thoughts. So, the next time you speak, pay attention to how you start your sentences. Small changes in your words can create a big difference in how confident you sound. You do not need complex vocabulary or perfect grammar to make an impact. You just need clarity, intention, and the habit of expressing your ideas directly. Start practicing this in your daily conversations, and you will notice how people respond differently to you. Your confidence will not come from memorizing more words, but from using the right ones at the right time. Keep improving step by step, and your communication will naturally become stronger. If this helped you see your speaking in a new way, show your support with a like. Try rewriting one of your "I think" sentences and share it in the comments. Send this to someone who wants to sound more confident while speaking English. Stay connected and subscribe for simple lessons that improve your communication step by step. Turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon so you do not miss the next practical video. Thank you for watching and spending your time here. I appreciate you being part of this journey to better communication. Keep practicing, keep improving, and I will see you in the next video.